Steve.
Good morning.
Curry Smugglers. Curry Smugglers. Insane. Right, this is an audio-only podcast for now, okay? But Steve was good enough to send me a Desi snack pack, right? Which did get lost in the post. Thankfully, the neighbors where I am are reasonable most of the time, and it did eventually find its way into my mitts. And no word of a lie. There's 4 cans, which is awesome branding, by the way.
Thank you.
Your Desi snack pack, right? And you've got Bombay mix, you've got pakora, you've got, what else we got? We've got chakli and masala corn. My personal favorite, masala corn, right? Which I don't think I'm going to be alone there. It literally was less than 24 hours.
Oh,
It
mate.
is so good. This product is so good. And by the way, I have not been paid to say any of this, right? I'm Punjabi, right? That's my heritage, so I will say it like it is. And Steve, you guys, you and Ruby, right? This is insanely good. Insanely good.
You're very kind, sir. You're very kind, bro. You're very kind. It's been an interesting journey so far.
Always is.
It is.
Always is. So you can hear me okay. I guess you can see me and everything else.
Yep,
As I
indeed.
said, it is going to be audio only for now. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on, Daba, right? I did contact you a while back, and apologies from my side that this has taken a little bit too long.
Thank you, mate. Yeah.
I was seriously kicking myself when you guys were on your one of your marketing campaigns, and it was where I saw all of a sudden so much promotion, and rightly so. You talk about that. Where was this big reveal in a very
My
famous
God. Yeah.
space?
You know what happened? We entered we launched last November, and then I think it was about August of this year, we entered a competition at Fortnum Mason. You know, that very posh shop in Piccadilly Circus.
The institution that is Fortnum and Mason,
We're
globally renowned and recognized on Regent Street, London.
The place where Ramta used to sing about Piccadilly.
Yep.
And we entered this competition, and we won. We were one of the 10 winners of Fortnum Makers competition, which showcased up-and-coming, exciting brands. And so we went down there, me and Ruby, and it was great meeting everyone. And then they told us that, oh, by the way, we're giving you an exclusive window in Piccadilly Circus for 3 months. Oh, so what the? You know what it was, Joe? It was like that moment, Punjabi aa gaye, you know? We're here, mate. Piccadilly. And
beautiful.
That was a big reveal.
Absolutely beautiful. I've got to say, right, I've not seen an event like that, a campaign like that, and just the visibility.
It was, you know what? I think it shows you that, our culture can, shake things up. Because what the buyer said to me, one thing, she goes, Steve, the mission you and Ruby are on is that the South Asian snacks, you're right, Steve, they are sold in boring, plain bags in the supermarket. They don't depict your culture, your Desi swag, the Bollywood vibrancy, And, people used to say to me, Joe, when I started the project, we were really like, oh, Bombay mixed out, you can get anywhere cheap, pound a bag and all that. But, I said, it's not an experience, just picking up a bag of Co-Fresh and all that. You got to do something, because, we're in the day of social media and, it's all about experiences. So, we've got that Punjabi attitude, "Kar ke dikhane," you know, you know, right.
Ronak, it's all in the Ronak.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah, we started it, man, and, so far it's been good. It's it's been taken really well by all areas of the community, not just Apne,
Yeah,
quite a lot from, the English, our English customers and, even that we've had inquiries now from Belgium and Spain,
mhm,
it's like, I I think it's also the fact that a lot of people love traveling to India and, all the spiritual part of it and, the noise and, the hustle and bustle of India. And we thought, when we're creating this can, we want people to reminisce about, hi, you remember there was that cow walking in the middle of the road and, when I was walking in Jalandhar, there's all
mm,
this
mm,
going on
mm,
and,
mm.
we wanted to create that. But at the same time, Jay, it was very important for us that because like yourself, we grew up eating this, these snacks, our mums, our aunties, bubbies, and, used to make these semia and, all this,
Absolutely.
while we were growing up. And, I'm first generation, I was born in England and my kids now, second generation, they're saying like, when we go to the supermarket, you got the Asian snacks, the English snacks, and nice branding on Mexican and Korean, but our Asian branding is just so, so crap. So, and we don't want to lose that with our second generation as well, So it was so important that, we worked on this idea and helped to, you know, take our identity a little bit further, not just with how we're seeing with current music, collaborations, etc.,
Mm, mm.
and other things I'm hearing in the media at the moment, Prada are working with chappal guys in India, the Kolhapuri chappals and all that.
Mm,
So,
mm, mm.
our fusion is always going to be here to stay no matter what, you know what I mean?
No, I mean,
We're
it's
part of the furniture now,
I think it's been sadly lacking. I think you've hit on a very, very important thread, Steve, um, because we have, as a community, been focusing so much on graft because
Yeah.
that is just ingrained in us. Yeah, you don't work, you don't eat. It's simple.
Mm, mm.
It's a very, very simple philosophy. Um, we kind of forgot to
Oh,
celebrate
exactly,
who we are, what
exactly.
we've done,
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons. I mean, I've said this so many times on the show. You know, what? Why? Who needs another bloody podcast?
yeah.
Right? This is exactly
Why we need
why I wanted to do Dubba. Right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, because I don't see enough people like us, and I'm not just talking about Punjabans or South Asians and that broader spectrum.
yeah.
I've got girls who are trying to be F1 drivers. Yeah,
Mm,
Michelin chef we just had in season one, brilliant, Peter Joseph, and it's that diversity. He says, "I'm being very, very selfish." Yeah, I literally just sat down and I thought to myself, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but I don't see folks like you, Steve. I just
mm.
don't.
It's
Right?
it's
And these stories are so, so, so important.
important. They are very important. It's like we I like I was saying, I'm born in England and, I used to go quite frequently to India with my parents and we always, obviously we went to Punjab. And those memories of, jumping on a train in Chandigarh and while the train's running, somebody's trying to flog you something through the window,
Yep,
you know? And
yep.
that's why, these things, when we talk about it to our children, it's like it's a story which you don't ever want to end,
Let's explore that, right?
you
Because
know?
for me, I was very, very lucky. Yeah, I didn't think of it at the time. I had to wait until I got into my mid late teens when I thought, "Yeah, man, this is my pind. This is awesome."
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And before then, it was all of my school friends were, "Oh, where did you go for your summer holidays? Oh, we went
yeah.
to Greece. Oh, we went to Spain. Oh, we went to Italy." And what was your journey though? Right? So imagine, um, you land, I'm assuming in Delhi, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
whichever airline. I'm not plugging
yeah.
anybody. But how did you get from Delhi to Punjab? What was that journey like?
Oh, mate, I think the first time when I went, me and my mum,
Mm,
we flew on this airline, which doesn't even exist anymore, called Pan Am.
Pan American.
Yeah, that shows you my age. And, yeah, you land at the airport, you walk through and it like, a young 8-year-old East End boy walk out at Delhi airport and then whoosh, that heat hits you, then the noise hits you, then the smell hits you, and then, Uncle G comes and you haven't seen and
Awesome.
saying, "Oh, here, come on, we've gotta get into this little Maruti van," and then you got that 5-hour journey to Chandigarh or Ludhiana, and,
Mhm.
and that whole journey as a young kid, you're looking out the window, it's like, "What the hell?" It's like and you're taking it all in, and all you've ever been used to is driving down the M1 in a straight line, you know, if
Yes.
you're going on a long journey,
Yes.
but that I think that experience at a certain age, just builds you with so much confidence because when you see people doing that hard graft, in the streets in India, first you do look back a little bit, but then you nod your head, you say, "You know what, mate? Good on you,
You're doing it. Yeah.
good on you." Because that's what our parents done when they came here, you know? And
And
that's why, like, when you mentioned earlier, you know, we don't see much of all this exciting branding that's potentially possible is because our previous generation were just totally grafting, you know? They were just literally, they were working so hard, bless them, and it's now time for us, set first generations to, hopefully, still capture that excitement that we had for our second generation.
I
Um,
think there's forgive me, there's a slight nuance there for me,
mm,
right? Because when I was in high school, I'd bunk off, go to a daytime gig, yeah, and that's how I got into music and, playing with some
yeah,
really, really nice people.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I can remember Giles Peterson, for example, acid jazz,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and there was some press conference, and he was bigging up, like, Bhangra was just coming up, and you had Apache Indian. This is before PMC, right? Punjabi, that kind of era. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
he took me to one side privately, and he said, "Yeah, we're not ready for it yet." Right? And I didn't understand, but years later, I did understand
yeah,
because there have been several false starts, let's put it that way,
many.
where, we as a community have done our own thing, but we've done
Yeah,
that in isolation because
yeah,
genuinely we didn't care. It was just, "Okay, Ronak, Mela, this is what we're going to do," whether it's somebody's wedding, a celebration, whatever it was,
yeah,
or, Diwali, whatever festival, and we would do that on our own.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think the host population was ready.
No, no. And
I
it
don't think so.
frustrates
What do you
it
think?
well, like, it frustrates me because, our music in the '80s was as loud as the reggae music, which was crossing over,
Yes.
you know, and just as exciting, and everybody was having the same amount of fun.
Yep.
But we as an Asian, Bhangra genre found it very, very difficult to come through. My background, Joel, is obviously music as well, and, in the early I think it was '84, I was part of a two-man, me and my cousin, we had a band called Culture Shock,
Culture shock. My
and
days.
we released a track back in '84, '85, I can't even bloody remember the year now, it's been so long, called House Bhangra, and, we were signed up with Morgan Khan, who
Mhm.
was, the guy who'd done the compilations of the hip hop compilation Street Sounds.
Yeah.
So we had just signed up with him, and, we managed to, get on the John Peel show, which was, like,
Really?
iconic, and w when we used to go to the Street Sound studio, we were the only Asians going into that recording studio in Ealing, and there was so many other, guys doing the rap music and,
Yeah.
and they used to say to us, "We don't see many Asians in the studio here, guys. Great to see you, man. We love your music." You know? So yeah, that was an interesting time. But it's taking so long, and I feel next year with what Diljit's doing, what Karan's doing,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think finally, and it breaks my heart that, we lost a great one with Sidhu Moosewala,
Mm,
and
mm,
hopefully
mm,
his
mm,
parents
mm,
will release some tracks next year.
mm.
I think we're gonna see some exciting Asian, tracks in the mainstream next year. I think it's starting to happen, mate. Punjabi aa gaye, they say.
Yeah, country area, man. It's like,
Everybody know?
it's no longer like God the God, right? It's propagating, it's really spreading its wings. But
Yeah,
as I said already, I don't see enough. Yeah, and it's not just Asians, it's
yeah.
multiple types of people doing amazing things and who have stories that matter, right? So,
There's a lot of exciting brands coming through. Jake, watch this space. I was at an event in London just recently, and there's about 6, 7 food snacks coming through next year, which is exactly on the same sort of level as what we're trying to create.
mm,
Not
mm,
snacks, but in other things. There's a young lady, a young girl, she's launched a paneer brand called All the Aunties. It's really exciting,
wow,
you know. There's another lad I bumped into the other day. He's got a range of spices called Tuk Tuk,
right,
which is really cool Scandi sort of branding,
okay,
and it's showing, that our brands don't need to look like all that, what's the word? They're very luxury aimed, some of these upper brands, the
mm,
old school
mm.
ones. And now they're all and now we're getting a bit edgy, It's gonna get a
Again,
little bit more street.
going back to our essence, right? Because with the best will in the world, there was, and you've touched on it really nicely, Steve. We grew up with, you know, our mums, our buas, our
Mm,
like mussies, all of them.
yeah,
They'd
yeah,
all be in the kitchen, they'd all be yapping away as they do, right?
it's
About everything and everyone. Um, and cooking these amazing
amazing
snacks
stuff,
and everything else.
amazing.
Now, I think that the timing was right before, but everything's, cyclical. What you guys have done is it's just brilliant. I love your branding. I love your entire concept,
Thank you.
and, I can't wait to see what's next. How did you start, though? I mean, what was that what
So
was that moment when was it yourself and Ruby, or was it,
yeah, well, it like you're saying, Jad, it started last November, and it was mainly my kids, it's
Mm,
like, why are these snacks so boring?
boring.
Why is Asian snacks not as good as all these other, Mexican, Korean
Mm, mm,
branding and all that? Um, I for the last 15 years, I've been in the beer industry, so I'm a brewer. So cans are around the house all the time. So Ruby said to me, she goes, "Why don't we, we know how to make these snacks." Ruby's mum, bless her, was with us that day, and she said, "We can do that." And we said, "Okay, let's pop them in a beer can." And, they've
Just like
done
that.
just like that, and we thought, "Why the hell didn't we think of this before?" You know? Ruby's happy now, there's more snack cans in the house than beer cans. You know what I mean?
So
Um,
you've taken an artisan
just
craft because that's
simple
what it
ideas
is.
sometimes, isn't it,
Exactly.
It's the
Yeah,
simple
and
ideas.
you've just mashed up. It's if you look at the whole design premise, the whole
Mm,
marketing aspect of it, you've taken so many different elements
yeah,
and you've created almost like this thali,
this is it,
right?
yeah,
For a
yeah,
single product. The visualization, the the packaging, the whole thought process, just the naming convention as well.
yeah.
And
It's a
that's
strong
awesome.
name. It's a strong
Yeah.
name. What do you think of the name? There's a story behind that.
Go on then. You're
Oh,
reading
mate,
my mind.
it's those journeys again from
Of
India.
course.
It's those journeys. So, like, whenever we go out there, mum, and now recently my wife, we always like, let's get some masala ground up. As if you can't get any masala in England. It's like, no, let's get some masala ground up or whatever, and a
Mhm.
chard and all that. And our suitcase would be used to be bloody full of it.
My
But one,
days.
one, and then once the customs officer, going to pull us up, and he opened up, and he was actually having a laugh. He wasn't very serious about it. He goes, "Oh, what, curry smuggling?" This was years ago,
Brilliant.
and you never forget these moments. And I remember once we were coming back, and Mum had brown sugar,
Right.
the legal brown sugar. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
the customs officer said, "What's this?" And Mum said, "Brown sugar." And I was going, "Oh no, Mum, don't say that." So funny,
Juggedy!
bless. Oh my god. And yeah,
Man, how did you get out of that?
oh
That's
mate, it's so funny. And again, and then you realize, yeah, this is just sugar, isn't it? Yeah, But it was so
my
funny. But that
days.
that, that whole thing when the guy said curry smuggling, it stays in your mind, and it's a great conversation. We always talk about it, and we thought we'd use that because we've all experienced it, not just me and my wife. I'm sure you have, and we wanted to create the box with the four iconic snacks.
Mhm.
So, you touched earlier regarding the masala corn.
Yeah,
Masala
my
corn
favorite.
is also the one that, they tried to put you in, that little newspaper cones they make, and
Yes, yes,
through
yes,
the
yes, yes.
through the train window. That
Yeah,
and that and that was the one I used to always go for. The chuckly, I'm sure you got one at home, is that brass device with the handle at the top.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
and we've been making it with that. And, now we don't have that much of that interaction at home, because I remember when I was growing up, there was, like I say, aunties and my bubbies and everyone used to get together and make it. And now they just get them from outside. They don't even
Yeah.
make them anymore. Um, and,
Do you think
we're
that's just the way of the world, or do you think we should be encouraging that more?
I think we should be encouraging that, because it's a bit of a skill set.
It's very much a skill set.
Yeah,
I've
it's a very
tasted
much.
enough where, shall we say, the less experienced bubbies and aunties have had a go, and it hasn't really turned out what
God,
you
can
were
you
kind
imagine?
of thinking.
Some I've tasted some really funny tasting gourgling, mate, in my life.
Hmm. Yeah, I think we've all been there. But these cultural artifacts,
Yeah,
they yeah, we need to be thinking inwardly, I think, as well as outwardly.
we do, and hopefully, with this sort of snacking experience, with what's going on in the world at the moment, especially what we're seeing in the UK as well,
Mm,
hopefully we can all get together, enjoy it, and share our culture. you know,
100%.
um, and spread the love, man, because this is not just a Desi snack box, it's full of memories, not just of my family, of every single Asian in this country, you know,
Exactly. Well,
and
anyone who's been to the subcontinent,
oh, mate,
let's be
it's all
honest.
in that box, yeah. It's full of so many memories of so many people.
Well,
We
that's
got a lot of ideas, Joe, for what we want to do next, with the curry smuggling, different types of products, and there's so many products that we enjoy as South Asians
Mm.
that are not really in the UK market, you know? And, not gonna drop anything at the moment, what we're planning on
Of
doing,
course not.
but
Of course not.
early next year,
It's
man,
happening.
I'm working on a couple of other products, and hopefully we can grow. Our dilemma at the moment, Joel, is that, we we're we've been making these snacks at home, and now as we're expanding, we've found an up-and-up, manufacturer
Mhm.
who can do that as we grow.
Scaling.
We're getting a lot of interest, from online supermarkets and high street supermarket, but we want to grow, and we're just trying to raise funds at the moment to get an automated canning line because there's nobody in the UK who will fill dry goods into beer cans. There's no one.
Nobody
Yeah. So
yet.
I got a machine, which, we've been doing manually for the last yeah, and we've done so since November last year, we've done 36,000 cans.
Whoa.
36 I couldn't believe it. When we looked at the machine the other day, because every time we fill a can, a number on the LED comes up. Bloody hell, 36,000 cans. There's 36,000 cans out there, man, people have enjoyed. And, there was so much we can do. We just need to raise funds at the moment, get a proper canning line put in and, premises and all that sort of stuff, and take the snack brand to next level, and,
But
hopefully everybody can enjoy it.
it's 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 brilliant to listen to you share your brand's evolution,
Thank you, thank you.
right? I mean, last November, which isn't that long ago, it's
No, it's
yeah,
literally a year, man.
a year,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And you've killed Fortnum and Masons. You've got
mate.
like a huge amount of press, and the product is the end of the day, if your product is crap, it doesn't matter what kind of brand, what kind of marketing, what your go-to-market strategy happens to be, it's nonsense. Your
You
brand
need
is your product is
you need
so powerful. The
you need to
story
have
is amazing.
you need a brand that will stand out from the rest of the crowd. Only then people are gonna bloody notice you. Yeah.
100%. But it's
Uh,
your story.
yeah.
It's your
This is
story, and it's so relatable.
this is it. We had on my Instagram in, January last year, I got a text message,
Mm,
from a young lady. I shouldn't say her name, but a department store in London.
mhm.
Um, I'm so and so, I'm the buyer of this department store. I love what you're doing. I thought, "You're pulling my leg. This can't be that buyer from that department store."
Uh,
So I called up a few friends. Yeah, she definitely is. So within January, we were in Oxford Street in that lovely orange store there,
nice.
and it just shows you it clicked something with her as well. She goes, "It's so exciting, what we're doing." Um, I I don't want to, put a darkener on what the previous snack brands in the UK have done. They've built an audience for us already, which is probably last time I googled on Mintel was a rough the Asian snack. I think it was about 20 million or something like that.
Mhm.
So if those sort of brands are already doing about 20 million, we can only grow, mate.
And there is room because
Mm,
as you've said, and, as the observations from your family, you
yeah,
know, I think it's a combination of complacency and, just lack of awareness. But you and Ruby and everyone else who's involved with Curry Smugglers, you're just smashing it, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's next. I really, really can't wait. I mean, I'm naturally, impatient, but,
we
uh
get a lot of people still, Joe, we still get people saying, "Oh, what beer is this?" It's like, "It's not a beer."
yeah, I mean,
It's a
it's
Bombay mixed flavoured beer. I had the other day, I thought, "Bloody twaddy," I thought, you know
you
what I
are
mean?
gonna get that though, but having said that, it is if you look at the practicalities of it, right? It's easily stackable. It's
Yeah,
visible. You imagine this on the shelf, right? And you've got the cross product aspect of it as well. People, when are they going to have this? Okay, well, you're sitting in front of the TV, you open a can of beer, whatever.
Mm,
You could be with your mates, you could be on your own, and it's when you think about it,
yeah,
it's logical. It's
yeah,
totally logical. Where's my Curry Smugglers can?
yeah,
Cans, I should
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Because if anyone's like me, they don't just want one flavor. I want several
yeah.
flavors all at once. Thank you very much. Um, and it's the usability of it.
It's so easy. So a buyer said to us recently is that when they have to put their bag snacks on the shelves, the bags fall down. She goes, "Steve, your cans stay upright,"
Of
you
course,
know, which makes life so easy for us. Plus, we don't have to get little cardboard boxes made as well. So environmentally aspect, the aluminium can is 100% recyclable to
awesome.
plastic bags which end up in landfill. You don't have to have all these little cardboard boxes on the shelves as well. These cans fit in your car coffee mug thing, so you don't spill them all
Absolutely,
over your seat, you know? So
absolutely.
they fit in there, and, it's this the word at the moment, Instagrammable,
Yes,
which has come into the Oxford Dictionary, I hope so far, it is Instagrammable, snacking should be an experience because there's
it
so many
is.
negatives about it, you know?
It is. It is. It is. It is. And you've just elevated something which everyone has done generationally.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just executed beautifully.
thank you.
Well
Thank you very
done.
much.
Well done.
Thank thank you, man. We just wanted to create a brand that just puts a smile on everybody's face when they look at it,
Say it again.
we've done a Desi playlist on the back if you scan the
Yes.
shop Spotify on there,
Yep.
and just so far, we've had all the good vibes, everybody's picked it up and said really good things about it, like yourself, my friend, it means a lot to us. We're a tiny brand, but, we're bringing some good vibes to the market, we're giving some positive
Steve, mate,
you know?
it means a lot to so many people, right? That is
Yeah,
110% reciprocated. To see this evolve and the manner in which your team, you, Ruby, and everybody else have, worked really and thoughtfully.
yeah. The
Thoughtfully. It's another aspect I wanna touch on as well, because with your permission, of course. You've been in the trenches, yeah? You've been in the trenches. You are an experienced practitioner,
goodness me. Here we
right?
go.
And it is the collection of your experiences, your knowledge, your skill. Yeah, everyone hears about, "Oh, young so and so,
Yeah,
straight out of school, this thing, that thing, da 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 da," and you're successful, that's fine, but you are still rocking it.
mate, I'm gonna be 60 next year.
Balle.
I'm gonna be
Wow.
60 next year. So, it's been an interesting journey. Yeah, you can say it takes a few knocks to get your experience,
Of course,
right? But,
it's how it is.
I've been fortunate to be in a position in the UK where in the beer industry, I helped create the UK's first alcohol-free beer in 2016.
Nice.
I'm still I work with a lot of breweries as a consultant,
Uh-huh,
for alcohol free.
uh-huh,
Um, Prior to that, I helped bring the UK's first organic beer into the UK, which we sold in Waitrose, which was a lot of fun. But with the beer side of things, there's a lot of microbreweries out there now. And me and Ruby were contemplating probably about a year ago that
uh-huh.
there's got to be another route out of this now. Got to think of something new, and that, and this was just sitting there to happen, you know. Um, but having the opportunity, look how big the alcohol-free industry is now.
It's
You talk,
massive.
is massive, and people in the industry know what I've done, and, and there's a lot of love and, um, and and I look back and I'm pleased to see that how, I was probably what, helped pioneer it, and see where it is now, and hopefully we can grow the Desi snack scene in that sort of uh, way as well, the
No doubt.
figures that are happening in alcohol free at the moment, um, because everybody's drinking is changing, everybody now like, when we were growing up, it was like glossy and, up on it parties and all that sort of
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
S you know, it's a totally different vibe now, man, we're not saying people in the alcohol free when I was doing it, I wasn't telling people not to drink, people were saying, "Look, you can also have this alongside your normal drinking as well,
Exactly.
it's all that." Because I had a lot of friends who are brewers, and they when I started the alcohol free, they were saying, "Steve, look, man, you bumped your head or something, everybody can start drinking alcohol free, pubs are gonna close, breweries are gonna close," you know? And now those same brewers, my friends, they're also making alcohol free beer back, and that's as
Yep. Yep. Yep.
you won't
Yep.
listen to it.
Yep.
But,
Yeah. It's funny how that happens,
yeah, it
right?
is, yeah.
It's going back to that whole aspect of grafting. Yeah. It's not about sitting on your laurels and thinking, okay, yeah, done it. It's
Yeah.
never there's never a done it. There's always, okay, what's next? What's next? What's
We
next?
saw our parents grafting,
Exactly.
and, fortunately for me, my father was also an entrepreneur as well. He was a tailor from
Mm,
profession, and
mm.
in the early six in the so he came over in '57, so in the early '70s, he built up a really nice, fashion brand in those days, so he was in the rag trade. I think that also rubs off as well, so,
Got you.
seeing these and you just wanna do something and it is great to do something for your society, you know?
It's that whole Seva,
That's
that
it, man.
Seva mindset.
That's it. That's what it's all about, mate, that is plan A on the table, and, we've got some exciting plans for next year, and I hope we can still continue the love, man, but, it
No,
really
100%.
we're just so blessed that, Jay, you giving us a platform here on your podcast, man. It means a lot to us, man, and, big love to you, bro.
No, look, thank you. Thank you so much. Where where do you see, I mean, you've already mentioned you've got other irons in the fire, right? But
Mhm.
clearly it's not just about fast moving goods. It's not just about, snacking. And you've got legacy, legacy
Mhm.
in the brewery side of things. And what else is what else is piquing your interest? Because yeah, it's strikes me that mm, you love
Oh,
you
Mr.
love exploration, adaptation. You see an opportunity, and then you just kind of, okay, well, let's try that on for size.
Yeah. I got out of alcohol free because that industry, just so many people came into it, and when so many people come into
Saturated.
an industry, it just, is there any point here now? Let them get on with it. Plus, a lot of players came in with a lot of money, so they just went boom, and they took over the scene, whereas all these indie brands inside suffer. What we want to do now is capture, the mental health is a huge problem.
Mhm.
It's an issue. It is. It's we have all of us in some way or another, have thoughts in our mind. We as a brand, the young lady who created our logo, 2012,
Mm.
took her life, and we didn't know that she was struggling. You know, she's always happy, always talking about our trips to Goa and, a love for trance music and, house music, but we didn't know. So I think with I don't know whether if it's the pressures we have now than before, we a lot of us, we do struggle, and a lot of us are not able to cope. So we are now looking at next year how we can help. And I think there's an old Ayurveda,
Mm,
you know. I think we're going to delve into that a little bit
mm,
next year. There's a
mm.
couple of products that I've already seen out in India that I think, you know, we can bring to the UK market, and, you know, and put it on the health food shelves, you know? I think, and talk about this without being because, when we were growing up, I don't know if it's with yourself, my friend, but with a lot of people I've seen growing up, "Oh, koi gal nahi," and this is like
Mm.
it was different with Asian, with boys especially,
Oh my God.
it's yeah, don't worry, koi gal nahi, man up, I like glassy lala water, and all
Mm,
that sort of stuff.
mm.
It's it's not the vibe, it's not the cool vibe, man, it's not what, it was all about, but they didn't know any different because our parents were working hard, so,
Different set of priorities. It was that simple.
exactly,
Like
so,
survival.
yeah, yeah. So I think more we talk about it and not shy about not talking about it, I think is a really good thing. And I say that to our community, to wherever we speak. And I was speaking to a friend of mine who's got a drinks brand called Nectar, and he talks about that as well, and also about mental health. And I think it's very important, especially in our South Asian culture. We need to talk about it. You know.
So important. I mean, this is why I diversified the conversation, right? Kind of handbrake turn.
Mm,
Because you're not, this isn't something that's just popped into your head, Steve, right?
mm,
And this isn't something that you and your brilliant team are kind of giving, you know, minimal copy to. You've got a huge, I mean, presence on your website, which celebrates the person who came up with the
mm,
designs, who
mm,
begins rather it begins to tell that story um, about mental health
mm.
and how important. And for me, yeah, probably yourself, but I'll say it out loud. Again, this goes back to Seva,
Yep. Yep.
right? Looking after not just ourselves, but everybody, everybody.
Excuse me, during COVID, at that time, we all said, "Oh, let's call up our friends." We should
Mm.
have been doing that anyway, you know, and I hope people are still continuing to do that, you know. Just check up on someone, man, don't know what shit somebody's going through. We all put a smiling face on that. We got up and be our South Asian attitude. We're trying to keep a smile on our face, but you're going through a lot of stuff, We all go through a
Smiling,
lot, you know.
smiling's the
Growing up
only
in the
currency.
'80s, look at I was growing up in the '80s,
Yeah,
what we went through at that time, but do your parents understand about bullying at that time? No,
no.
you know? So, the fact that our neighbors used to knock on our door and says, "Yes, it's your curry, mate, it's coming out from," it smells, and all that sort of stuff, so going to school as an Asian in the '80s, skinheads, all that sort of stuff,
Hmm.
how do you then come back home when your parents have come home after a hard graft as well to discuss all these sort of things? It's times have changed, but it leaves its mark.
It was normalized.
Yeah,
It was normalized. Yeah. And I think there are a multitude of reasons why maybe we didn't want to bother our parents with it.
exactly.
Maybe, well, like I said, loads of reasons. But for those folks who might be listening to this show, I mean, Steve and I clearly we grew up the same kind of time frame. And me, born and raised in Plaistow,
Yeah.
and
I was
we had some sports teachers, bless them, who were aware of it, and they'd send us home, me and the handful of other non-whites, shall we say, with
I was in
rounders
East
bats.
Ham. I was in East Ham.
I was in Plaistow, mate.
Yeah, around the corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And they send us home with rounders bats,
That's it.
right?
So,
And
lo
hockey sticks. So we at least had somewhat of a chance to defend ourselves because it was normal. And there was no
those
going to the police. They did nothing.
no, no, no. It was very difficult who you could trust in those days, and the fact that I used to go to Langdon School,
Mm,
and obviously when you used to come outside, there used to be a huge mob standing outside just waiting
yes,
to do the pea bashing, and,
enjoy.
you know, it was, yeah, it makes you who you are, you know? Um, but, you know, those were the times now, and what I love about what we're seeing in England at the moment is that we are a very happy multicultural country. You know, the ones that
There's
want to make this a happy cultural country, they are loving it here, you know?
It is
Um,
an amazing country. I mean, everyone wants to put down London, everyone wants to put down any inner city, they wanna put down the United Kingdom. It's a brilliant place to be.
it's a cauldron of so much culture, you know? I was reading the other day, but somebody was saying, "Oh, London's becoming a bit boring."
Mhm.
Oh, the swinging '60s was great. You know, we don't see the fun in Soho anymore and all that, you know, the music scene was great. There's so much more to see now, man. There's so
It's
much more, you know?
everything evolves, everything changes, and it's one of the few places where, you can eat any cuisine, literally,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
that you like. One night
yeah,
you could and it's diversified, we've got okay, specifically Indian subcontinent, if you wanted to have South Indian, there's a place for that. If you wanted Punjabi North cuisine, there's a place for that, you know? Um, and it's great when I go to places like, in other European cities, you
yeah,
you see such a proliferation of Indian restaurants who are head and shoulders above everywhere else.
yeah,
Right, there
yeah,
wouldn't necessarily be a Greek restaurant there. There wouldn't necessarily be an Italian place there. There'll be local, whatever the cuisine is, but invariably you will find an Indian restaurant. So
indeed.
that food, that culture, that whole essence of bringing people together with awesome flavors, yeah, it's all about community.
It
it's
is,
one of
it
the
is,
most natural things you can do.
it is.
Yeah.
And the success of the Asian restaurants is because people enjoy them. They
Yes.
enjoy the food, they enjoy the culture. So, you know, what's not to love, man? What
It's
is not to love? Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Steve, look, I'm so glad that we've had an opportunity to speak. I'll definitely be bothering you, right? Um, about
Anytime,
other
man.
stuff as well. Because what like I keep saying, yourself and Ruby and your whole team have done and are doing, it it needs to be celebrated. It needs to be more visible. Yeah. And anything that I can do, just let me know. I mean, I haven't got a clue
Well,
right now
we're
because you
as
guys
I
seem to
said,
be doing brilliantly on your own.
we're trying. We're a small team. We're a small team and literally doing everything. But, you know, please do, you know, everyone just hook up on our Instagram, you know, our social media, and just help us make some noise, you know, have some
100%.
fun and, bring back those memories of our trips to India.
And loads of trips that will be coming in the future as well.
Indeed, indeed.
Steve, this has
Big
been
love, man. Big
superb,
love.
superb. Big love to you. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thanks very much.